Hello, I'm Voiding. Today, I'm going to show you this thing, which is my lava sweeper. Now, I have a lot to talk about, so this is basically a concept by Tombot. I think that's his concept, where you basically have a bunch of self-returning flying machines, which are these things, that go down and remove liquids. They go down, go back up, and then move forward, and then you do the same thing over again. It's a pretty good concept. This is my design of it, and I found that it doesn't really work well for water, but it does work very well for lava, which is what we're using it for on Kronos right here, for a trench, for a quarry, or not a quarry trench, a world eater trench. So I have some things to discuss regarding using it in survival. First of all, basic things you gotta know. To start the thing, you have to break the redstone block, and that will send the flying machines down. They have some pistons, which will destroy the lava, and then once it's done, it'll move forward, and then it'll send them back down again. And if you ever want to stop it, you place that redstone block on top of that piston again, and then it will stop once the flying machines return. And it's that simple. Now, before you want to run this thing, you have to have, as you can see, you have to have sand walls around it. And another thing that you want to do is, while you're running it, what you want to do is you want to grab some blocks. It doesn't have to be sand, but since it falls, it's a good choice. And basically, it doesn't, because this design, this concept cannot possibly remove all of the lava. You have to follow behind it and remove some of it yourself, because it will miss some of it. But it'll get it. The important part is that it gets most of it, and you don't even have to do that much for some terrain. For very flat terrain, you hardly have to do anything except to kind of watch it go and occasionally place some sand. For rougher terrain, you're probably gonna have a lot more to do. But generally, it saves you a lot of time and effort, which makes it pretty useful for survival. Now, you don't have to only use it for world eater trenches. Of course, you can also use it to make larger areas. You can tile this to be used over a wider area. So it could be like a little chunk loading hole, or it could be a full-on perimeter. It does get a little bit slower the wider you tile it, because this AND gate right here is not instant. But it's not really a big deal over wide distances. It'll be a bit slower, but you know, it's not really a big deal, because you have to go around filling in the lava that it misses anyways, so it's not really a big deal that it's slower, because it'll still speed on ahead of you. And so overall it's pretty useful. You could use it for a variety of things. As long as what you need to do requires clearing lava, this thing will help you. Can't use it for 3 wide trenches because it's 4 wide tileable. You can make a 4 wide trench and have like one module of it, but like, why would you do that? This is more meant for like anything bigger than a side trench, pretty much. So things to watch out for when you're making it, of course. Yeah, again, you have to make the sand walls. You should make it 1 block higher than the lava. So as you can see, I built it so that there is a gap of air below these pistons before the lava, and that's because, well, as you can see over here, there's not lava, and there's actually a bunch of terrain. And it won't keep moving forward if it doesn't drop down 1 block, because of the way I designed it. So you're going to have to build it 1 block higher. and so that it can also it can literally just pass over the land with no problems at all. Another thing to watch out for is stuff like this. Yeah, when you got the trench and you're preparing the area, you're placing the sand walls and stuff, you're gonna notice that there's bullshit like this where there's like lava underneath the terrain and it's really annoying to deal with. And especially because, well, this lava sweeper won't be able to get that lava. It won't be able to get the lava underneath the terrain. So what you have to do is that you actually have to remove the terrain that is above the lava, which isn't too big of a deal. And it is definitely worth doing because that'll save you a lot of pain and anguish later. Instead of having to remove that lava manually later, once you're done running the lava remover, all you have to do is just run it once and it'll get it for you as long as you remove the blocks above. So it's definitely worth doing. Also, you may have noticed that I used TNT dupers to remove this area to bomb out this trench, and you may notice that I built it at such a height where the TNT does not blow up much underneath the lava. As you can see, it didn't blow up. It didn't blow up much below the lava, as you can see, and that's because if you do that, then like if you build it too low, then a problem arises where there's a bunch of flowing lava and stuff. I mean, there's a lot over here, but especially when you build the TNT duper way too low, it'll blow up the blocks down there and create a bunch of flowing lava. And because of the way this is designed, there are observers facing forward, which is just the safest place to put them. But when you have that flowing lava, there's a chance that they can be updated by that flowing lava, which can break them. And therefore, you need to be wary of that. And so you shouldn't build the TNT duper too low. And you shouldn't use any down XL TNT dupers either, because they will definitely blow up the blocks down there. So you don't want to do that. And that's pretty much everything that I have to go over regarding the use of this machine in survival. So without further ado, I guess it's time to go into CMP and discuss some aspects of this design. So, as I said, now is the time to discuss the design aspects of things. So if you don't care about this, you can click off the video now, because there's nothing else that's really important, but I decided I'd nerd out about the design a little bit. So this is Tombot's design. It's pretty good. I would say, and it's designated as an ocean remover, but I would say it's only a lava ocean remover. It doesn't really work well for water. This doesn't work well for water. This doesn't work well for water. I would not recommend using either of these for water. That's the thing. You should only use this for lava, because otherwise it's gonna be messy, and it's not really gonna save you that much time, because of how water works. It like creates infinite sources, so you actually end up not removing any water below the highest peak of the terrain, which is a problem. So it would only work for like flat stretches of ocean floor. So that's a bit unfortunate, but the thing is that you have sponges, so it's not that big of a deal. So as you can see, my design is a lot smaller, and so I can even count the blocks out for you. So the flying machines are essentially the same, 3 blocks, few blocks long. On Tombot's design, it extends extends 7 blocks backwards from the flying machines. In my design, it extends 2. The way I was able to achieve this was by using the Attila instant extension. which is basically an instant extension that is 2 blocks long, which is super useful for compact slimestone, because there was absolutely no way I'd get it this small using a 3 long instant extension, the standard one that we all know. So I used a 2 wide or 2 long extension by Attila to be able to get it to be super small. Now that's actually something that you want to watch out for when you're building it, is you actually want to place this redstone block last. When you're building this layer, if you're building it layer by layer, you're going to place this slime block first and then place the redstone block. Otherwise, you'll update the piston and it'll push forward, and it won't be very fun because you're going to have to fix that. So when you're building it, place the redstone block last. I know I said that there would be no more important information in this section, but oh well. And on the front, Tombot extends forward 5 blocks. Now that's because he has this system where it activates the AND gate instantly. So there is a point to that. But I decided to do away with that and make it a little bit simpler and more compact. So mine only extends 2 blocks forward. So it is quite a bit more compact. You may be wondering about this glass block in the design. What is it for? It literally does not matter. You could just remove it. It doesn't. There's no reason why that glass block is there. I initially put it for weatherproofing. The thing is about the weatherproofing thing is that it's not even supposed to be used in the overworld. There's no point using it for the overworld. You should only use it in the nether. So why I kept that glass block in the schematic, I have no idea. I'm too lazy to change it. I actually might change it for the schematic that I'll put in the description of this video. But in the schematic that I have currently, that glass block is there for some reason, because I forgot to remove it. Now how it works is essentially what it does is it starts by pushing forward the flying machines in a way so that they get sent down without any other aid. All that happens is they get pushed forward, and the order in which they get pushed forward causes them to go down automatically. Now these are lamp-based self-returning flying machines, which means it uses the whole idea where if you power a lamp, it uses the lamp turning off to power the observer again, and this observer faces a sticky piston. So essentially what it does is it collapses, and then the lamp turns off, updating this observer up, which powers this piston, which pushes this up, and so then this pulls that up, and then essentially what it does is it restarts the engine, because it turns off. So I use it for a self-returning engine here. I have pistons on the bottom to remove more lava. Now you notice that in Tombot's design, he has these pistons facing sideways, which I found out is a problem, because if you have blocks like this, then what will happen is when they move down, the pistons will actually break the neighboring flying machine. It'll push the other pistons to the side. So in that rare circumstance, that is a problem, and I didn't want that, so I just decided to change it to have them push downwards. So that's something. What I did to stop the flying machines, this is another improvement, is where, so what Tombot does in his design is he actually push limits this piston, which is what all the slime and blocks attached for it is for. It's just so it push limits that piston so that you can't, it'll stop when it reaches the top. But what I did instead, I thought that was a bit too bulky, so what I did instead is I actually had an extended piston extension. And essentially, the extension I used is this design right here, which is a pretty nice design. How it works is you push forward this redstone block, and what that does is it depowers this piston, and it also pushes, the redstone block has an observer in front of it, and that observer powers the sticky piston, which then pulls the piston next to the redstone block, and so the piston re-extends, and that's how it works. It looks a bit different here because I have the redstone block here normally, but then I also have the observer that powers the sticky piston underneath. And the reason I have it there is so that that it actually bumps into the extended piston, which without it, it would keep going, but with that observer, it stops the piston from extending because of the extended piston. So I thought that was pretty cool. The way I did that was pretty nice. And well, I guess that's pretty much it in terms of design aspects and the differences between mine and Tombot's. So I have no problems with this design, and in fact, the whole reason I did this is because it's actually a really good concept and is quite useful for moving lava. So shout outs to Tombot for making this thing, because this thing is pretty pog, but this one is smaller, cheaper, and easier to build. Yeah, I kind of did this just for fun, not really to one up him or anything. I just thought this would be a fun thing to do, and it also kind of brought more attention to this kind of useful thing, because I tried to find this thing, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't find it in any public archives for some reason. So I take it that he didn't release it, or maybe it's on his YouTube. I don't know. Anyways, so I decided I'd make a design of my own and put it, make it public, so that people can use it. Fun fact about this machine is it actually got me trusted on SciCraft, because they used it when making a World Eater Trench. And I was in VC, Joy was streaming, I think Joy gave me trusted. So, fun fact, the flying machine that got me trusted in Sci. Very, very cool stuff. Anyways, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed me nerding out about a flying machine. If you didn't, I don't know why you watched this part of the video, because I gave you ample warning. But anyways, that's it for this video, and I will see you next time.